2 Chamorro academic librarians on Guam. We have a total of like 9 academic librarians, and there's only 2 of us who are born and raised and indigenous to the island of Guam. Okay. And I did my undergraduate degree at the University of Portland, Oregon, and I graduated in '95, and I have a degree in cell biology. And I am one of the LEAP members that graduated from the first cohort of LEAP in 2011. So I have my master's in library science from University of North Texas. And I was a high school science teacher for 14 years and a high school vice principal for 6 years. So I have 20 years teaching experience prior to becoming a librarian. My positions include being the PIALA Vice President, which I took office last year in Yap. I'm also the current GLA Secretary, and I'm a department chair at UOG for the Reference Services and Information Literacy Instruction. So on certain days, I'm Jeff's boss. Only on certain days. I think it's Wednesdays and Thursdays. This is my claim to fame. I was on the University of North Texas website for like a week when we graduated. That was pretty cool. And this is the other Chamorro librarian in the middle, Ismael Perez. He'll be more than likely he'll represent UOG next year at the Costa Rica conference. Okay. So these are the 3 graduates from UNT, and that is our academic advisor and director of the program, Dr. Yvonne Chandler. And I know many of you have met her. This is us in Yap last year. The 4 skinny guys. I was holding my skirt down so my panty won't show. And these are the 4 Chamorros at Chamorro Bay last year. So Chamorro Bay is the name of the bay in Yap, and these are 4 Chamorros that were there last year. Kind of dark, sorry about that. And this is my family. Everyone's a midget in my family. I'm the only one that's tall. That's my wife, my daughter, and my son. I don't think my daughter's going to grow anymore. She's been the same height for over a year. My son's been growing really fast, so he's a lot taller than that now. Okay, so first the title of the conference, Innovating Together. And my title of this presentation is Using Technology in Information Literacy Assessment. So at the University of Guam, we had a gateway class, the first class that everyone takes, called ID 180, Introduction to College Success. The class was ended because it wasn't deemed successful, but there were components in the class that were very useful, and one of them was the library literacy program. So the librarians taught information literacy in this class at the beginning of the semester, and Jeff was one of those guys that led the way for that program. That's our library. So all the students actually come to the library to get this class. We don't go outside of the library because we have to teach them how to use the online card catalog and how to find books and find all the electronic resources. And we can't do that if we go to their classrooms. So the first classes have to come to our building. And we have some very nice computer labs. And Jeff's in charge of creating new ones. And we actually have like 3 more computer labs in the planning. So another 75 computers. We currently have 29 for teaching, and we have plans for 75 more because of Jeff's leadership. So I saw this online and I thought, yeah, this pretty much sums me up. This is what my friends think I do, what my mom thinks I do, what society thinks we do, tell people to keep quiet, what Jeff thinks I do, what I think I do. I think I'm a superhero. And most of the time what we really do is we actually meet with students and professors one-on-one in order to find out what they need in order to meet their information needs. A lot of times students don't know what they know and they don't know what they want, so you have to keep pressing them and interviewing them the proper way. And that's one of the things we learned in our UNT program was how to get to the meat of their need. And it's a skill that you have to actually work and develop. Okay, some inspirational quotes I found. A university is just a group of buildings gathered around a library. And this is very true at UOG. If you go to the University of Guam, the center of campus is the library. And it's kind of weird because you actually have to go around the building to enter because our entrance faces the whole school. So everyone looks at us and we look at everyone. So at the University of Guam, this is very true. And Dr. Chandler used to say, students don't know what they don't know. So we must know, you know? So they don't know what they don't know. And so we have to teach them and get them prepared. Okay. So information literacy, what does it mean? According to the ALA, this is their definition. It's a set of abilities requiring individuals to recognize what information is needed. So there's actually an information need. And have the ability to locate, evaluate, and use effectively the needed information. So basically, they have a need, they find it, they retrieve it, they assimilate it, they use it, and they create new information. And WASC, we are accredited by, we have accreditation through WASC. Information literacy is one of the core competencies, and at UOG we must have an information literacy assessment done by 2021. So we're actually in the process of choosing it. Ismael Perez, the other Chamorro librarian, myself, and my director are working with the composition department at UOG to figure out which tests we're going to do and how robust it's going to be. And so everything that we're doing at UOG in terms of assessment is making us decide, or helping us decide which formal assessment we're going to use. We haven't made a decision yet. We're still working on that. There are several products out there, one being SAILS, S-A-I-L-S, and another one being TATL, which stands for Threshold Achievement Test and Information Literacy. So those are the two that we're looking at, and we're kind of leaning towards TATL. And I don't want to do a presentation of that yet because it hasn't been finalized. Okay. So information literacy, there are 6 components, and it's there. I'm not going to read it off. And if you go to the ACRL standards, it's there. And our information literacy assessment must assess these 6 core competencies, okay, in information literacy. At the University of Washington, they have an ongoing project called Project Information Literacy, and they published several publications about information literacy. They've done huge surveys on campuses across the United States, and if you just Google Project Information Literacy Washington, all their stuff's online, all their publications are online, and it'll give you a good snapshot of what's happening in the U.S. And so we wanted to see are these things happening on the island of Guam. And with the tool that I used, you can actually do the same assessment. I can even send you my assessment, and you can just change the words and change your pictures and do a quick assessment of your students as they come into the university, the first year. Okay, so it's very good to understand. It's important to understand where they're coming in at. Okay, so this one here, in 2009, they published. They had a publication where they surveyed 2,000 some students across 6 campuses, and they found out that 80% of students rarely went to librarians for help. But 90% did turn to scholarly databases for their research. So there's a disconnect. They know they have to use scholarly information. They know it's purchased by the library, but they don't go to the librarians. Okay? And most of them would actually go to their course instructors. The composition instructors being the number 1 of all of the instructors. Okay? In 2010, the following year, they had another publication, and 84% of students reported that starting the research process was the most difficult one. And that's exactly where the point of intervention can be for librarians. Okay, right when they start the research is where we should be. And so my conclusions will tell us where that intervention point should be. Okay, and for assistants, they're actually going to their friends 64% of the time, faculty 49% of the time, and librarians only 11% of the time. So there's a huge need to increase that connection to have students trust you. Okay. And in 2013, one of their later studies, they found that the students were in awe with how big libraries were and how much information was present. So they found out that across the nation, students were facing college libraries that had 19 times more databases and 9 times more books. And even at UOG, being we're maybe the largest library in the region, but UH Manoa's library, and I was in awe of what they had. So at on Guam, students at the public schools and private schools have access to the PRAIL websites, the PRAIL databases. And that's about 40. At UOG, we have 62. In the libraries, the public libraries in Guam, maybe 4,000 books, 5,000 books. At UOG, we have 200,000 books and 200,000 ebooks, so we have a 400,000 books total. And these students are running into issues where they get all that information and they didn't know how to filter out all the irrelevant stuff. And again, that's where the librarians can step in. Okay, Credo Reference is a company that provides information, encyclopedic information and reference books online, and UOG actually subscribes to their services. And they did a study in 2014, and they found similar numbers where students went to librarians only 11% of the time and to others more. Okay, so it actually supports the information that was reported by the University of Washington. Now remember, this is a for-profit company, so you have to take it with a little grain of salt. UW is a research institution that has a PhD program in information sciences, so they're more credible, but this study did back up what University of Washington found. They also found that information literacy, 74% of students across the nation did not take any courses in information literacy provided by the librarians. And that 32% of faculty were unsure if it was offered, and 25% were sure that it was not offered in their university. So 25% of universities in the nation are not offering information literacy. So that could be a big issue. So if your university doesn't, or if your academic institution does not offer information literacy, it may be time for you to rethink that and find a point of intervention to increase information literacy in your students. Okay? And then this study also found that 90% of students that did take information literacy were very happy with the instruction. Okay, and that 95% of the faculty affirmed that the information literacy instruction actually helped their students in their research and in their final product. Okay, the question, why do we use Google Forms? Unlike Google Analytics, it is like Google Analytics, it's free, but unlike Google Analytics, you can use your own email. Okay, so you can use your own email to create your own Google form, and you can actually, it's very user-friendly, and you can actually send the links to any of your other professors or faculty or library technicians so they can see the data themselves. You can give them a copy that they can't edit. They can make a copy of it and they can edit it any way they want. So whatever they do, they won't compromise the integrity of your version, but they can actually get a version for themselves on their own personal email. Okay, and then you can, of course, you can save resources. You don't have to do any more print surveys, and it gives you data to help you plan, whether that planning is going to be staffing patterns, procurement, or collection development. So you can actually do a quick assessment as to what the students like, don't like, what they need, where are their weaknesses, what are their fears. Is the research process scary for them? Well, then of course you got to start doing things to help them. We found out that students weren't finding the correct keywords for the research, and so we revamped our whole program to include a keyword search portion. So we talk about keywords for 20 minutes out of 3 hours, so we have them twice. Well, 7 days apart. So we focus 20 minutes on just how do you develop your keyword search, because they're so used to Google and just typing in a question. I'm like, sorry guys, you can't put questions into a library federated search, because all the other words are stop words. You can't find the, and, of. Those things you're not going to look for that. The system won't look for that. So you have to actually use your proper keywords. So this is what the survey looks like. This is a sample survey. It's really, once you create it, it starts off like this. There are buttons that you can do to add more questions, create multiple choice. And then when you actually have your questions done, you can actually test the system and put answers in. It gives you analytics. It'll give you how many people answered question 1, question 2, question 3, was A, B, C, whether there's multiple choice or a Likert scale. So you can actually measure perceptions, or you can do multiple choice questions to see if they know what the correct answer is. So you can, it's very, there's many options as to, and right here, you can change it from multiple choice to Likert scale to a drop-down menu to fill in the blank or short answer essay. So it has many functions that it allows you to edit. Okay, and this is what ours look like. And of course, make sure you get institutional approval. So this is our institution's IRB, Institutional Review Board permission, and contact information in case someone wants to contact us about questions, and what kind of survey it is, and what the information is used for, and of course that they can discontinue at any time. So all those things are important when you're doing a study. These are the sample questions. We had, we had 6 questions that were on the Likert scale for perceptions, student perceptions, and then we had 3 questions that were information literacy assessment questions, and 1 last perception question on their level of comfort at the library. So the data gets sent to you like this. So the data is aggregated, and it has a timestamp. So you actually know when the student took it. So if you know you didn't have a class on a certain day and you see a timestamp, somebody went in and took it, or a class that wasn't supposed to took it. So you can delete those, and I have to do those. You have a timestamp for every submission, and it gives you all the answers according to the time of that student's submission. And there's no tracking of demographics or grade, or all we know is they all are in ID 180, and that most ID 180 students are freshmen at UOG. Those are the assumptions that we can make. Okay? There are some sophomores that take ID 180, but it's like 3. There's juniors, 1. There's absolutely no seniors that take ID 180. Okay, and then it's also easy to disaggregate the data, to separate it into the questions. So here I separated it to question 1, the question 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and the percentage for each answer. Okay, so not only does it aggregate for you effectively, it's very easy to disaggregate and to find the results that you want. Okay. And these are the results for the first question. So we did a pre-test and a post-test, at the beginning of class and at the end of class. Okay, and Jeff was one of the lead guys on this, Jeff and Daniel, those of you that remember Daniel. First question, I am familiar with information on the RFK Library homepage. So we just wanted to see, do they understand the homepage? And we had about 32% say yes. After the presentation, it was 94%. So from 30-some% to 90-some%. So the perception changed of the website. Then I understand how to locate a book on the shelf. Something as easy as that. We had only, 29% says yes, they knew how. So this is like 124 students. So only 29% knew how to find a book. On the shelf. These are freshmen in college. That's horrible. We thought, oh man, our kids really need this information literacy assessment, or instruction, because they have no idea how to find even just a book. And a lot of times they don't want to look stupid, so they won't ask you. So they'll ask their friends, so they don't look stupid, because their friends won't judge them. Okay? They think that we're going to judge them, and we don't. We don't judge them at all. So the pre-test was 29%, the post-test was 88%. Able to find a book. So we were effective, but not as effective as I'd like. I guess because we did have 5 professors teaching the classes. Okay, so there's 24 sections, and so it's divided among 5 professors, 5 faculty members. So each one had different level of effectiveness in terms of teaching these courses. If it was one professor, then that one professor can improve themselves. But when you have 5 professors involved, we have to make sure that all 5 of them are cover this in more effectively. Next question was, I know who to ask. when I need help finding information on my research. So about 40% said, yeah, we know who to ask, the librarian. And after that, it became 95% knew, because they not only know where we were, they knew who we were. We actually show pictures of all the librarians. We give them the phone numbers for their offices and everyone's email. And we show them how to find that information on the website as well. And we actually answer questions 24 hours a day. So I've been here, 4 days, and I've already I had 3 questions answered. So I receive all the questions, and I decide which librarian gets it. So if it's a general question, I send it to the librarian on duty. So I sent it to Jeff a couple times last week, right? Yeah, because he was on duty at the time, and I sent it to him. But now that I'm here, I send it to Ishmael Perez, the other librarian, the other Chamorro librarian. I sent him 2. I sent Courtney 1, and there was 1 I had to send to the director because it was about resources on Chamorro sign language, or sign language in the language of Chamorro. And that one, I don't think any of my librarians knew the answer to, so I had to send it to her, because she knew the director of that program. So she could say, hey, what do you have? So, and then it can get to the student. So we have a mechanism to answer questions 24 hours a day. And if someone sends me a Facebook request and I'm 11 o'clock at night, I will answer it. Because I know that person knows me personally, and it's a student, and I'll definitely answer it. My wife freaks out. Is that a girl? Yeah. Why are you answering her? It's 11. That's my job. And then someone calls her, like, is that a man? She goes, stop asking me that. I'm just doing what you do to me. Okay. Don't tell her I told you. All right. Okay. 5th question, pretest. I understand how to find and retrieve information using OneSearch. OneSearch, Jeff talked about it the other day. It's our federated search that searches everything. And we only had a 25% that knew beforehand because, of course, they never went to the library. So only 25% of the 124 students knew. After that, we had, 90%? 90% of them knew what OneSearch was and how to use it. I know how to cite all my sources properly. So it was pretty good. Everyone had some kind of citation training in high school. Because remember, these are college freshmen. And they haven't written their first paper yet. We get them so early in the year, they haven't even written a paper for college yet. So it was pretty high. 73%. And then up to, 92%. So it went up 27%. Which research tool would be best to locate a scholarly article? Again, scholarly articles are on OneSearch, and OneSearch is great. So only 30% of them knew that it was OneSearch. Most of them thought they can find a scholarly article on Google Scholar. Okay, you can find scholarly articles on Google Scholar, but the success rate is like 1%. Okay? If you are looking for scholarly articles on a certain topic, they're going to give you some. But the chances of them being the ones you want, whether it's current, whether it's from a journal that's reputable, and that it has free access, is going to be low. And OneSearch, we have a tab that says full text. It guarantees that you're going to get a full text copy. And our students are allowed to do the interlibrary loan. So if there's something that we don't have, we have the interlibrary loan. It's free for our students. 90% of the time they get it for free. 95% of the time they get it in 3 days. So it's not only is it's cost efficient, it's also very quick. The turnaround time is very fast. 3 days is very good. But I always tell them, find out what you need now. So if you know you need something, you're not asking the week before your papers due, because with your luck, it may be something that takes 12 days. Because we, as part of the OCLC, we send the request out. When libraries see it, they respond. So a lot of them respond like the next day. And if it's something that's rare, of course, it takes longer. It has to go through more refuse. Libraries have to refuse it. Oh, we don't have it. We don't have it. We don't have it. And it'll go to someone that has it. Okay, so, and they don't realize that takes time. And our goal is to teach them that, to be good planners regarding information. Okay, so after that post-test, the OneSearch went up to 73%. So it was pretty effective. So we went 30 to 73, so 43% increase. Okay, and then the last question was, which describes your level of comfort with the RFK library. So we had 41%, and it went up to 91%. So a 50% increase in level of comfort in terms of coming into the library. We also changed our library where UOG only has one food vendor in the cafeteria. One. And there's 4,000 students every year. And so the president decided to get a food vendor in the dorms. Now all the dorm students can have their own access to food. And we have 2 food trucks sitting right in front of our library. And we made a decision to allow food to come in the library and that they can talk in the first floor so that they can actually feel comfortable coming into the library and collaborate anytime they want it, even if they have food on them. And a lot of our students are carrying food around because there's no food services in the cafeteria. And there's 2 food trucks right in front of our doorstep at the library. They park in the grass right in front of the library under the big tree. And so we said, yeah, bring in your food, come and sit down and eat so you can do your work and study at the same time. And we've saw an increase of maybe like 1,000% increase in student arrivals. It's unbelievable how many students are there between 11 and 1 p.m. And Jeff's on the desk during that time, so he has to tell them, not too loud. You can talk, but no screaming. Yeah, so we have a lot of students, and when I talk this loud, the next person talks this loud, the next person talks this loud, and it gets really, really hard to hear anything. And so the students upstairs who are in the silent sections can hear that. And so we do have a talking floor, we have a whispering floor, and we have a silent floor. And we even have a silent study room so that students want to go in there and have no noise at all. We enforce that. And if you're typing too loud, we remove you. Okay, time to get out. You're bothering everyone else. And so we are trying to meet the needs of all types of students, and that's what we try to do. And it also increases the level of comfort for the students to come into the library. And your whole goal is to get them in there, you know? Okay, conclusions. For my study, I found that Google Form is a very user-friendly system, efficient for aggregating and disaggregating data so that you can find out what you need from the surveys, and it can help you plan. It's free. You only need a Gmail account, and that's free as well. The links can be emailed to any recipient. So if you want someone to take the study that wasn't there, you can actually email them the link. They can fill out the study, and there's no identification that it was them. Okay, and then the page, like I showed you earlier, the page can be placed on a browser. So once the computer's turned on and the browser's open, that is the first thing they see, the survey. So we're like, okay, everyone, you see the survey? And read it and do it if you want. And they read it. It says it's up to them if they want to do it. They can stop at any time. And so I delete anyone that stopped at any time. If anybody stopped, I deleted their results because it was an incomplete study. We don't know if every one of them that took in the beginning did at the end. We don't know because the numbers are a little different. 124 did the beginning, 121 did the end. So 3 of them that took in the beginning didn't want to do the end. That's fine because we're just going by the total results. Okay. Students do appreciate information literacy instruction. They get more comfortable with the library when they know more about it, what they can do in there. First year students are not prepared for college research. That's already a given. That those 2 studies I showed you from the University of Washington and Credo Reference already published that incoming students into college are not ready. We affirmed it. We know that they're not ready from our findings. And in order to do better, we need to get to them early and embed ourselves into the first year course. So librarians, talk to your administration. You know, the first class they're in that has research, I need to have a library session in the first week of school every single semester. And that's what we did. We've kind of forced ourselves into the classroom. And so we actually teach, I'll show you, it's on the next page. We teach in several first year courses. And then, of course, you have to promote your library and your services. And most of all, make access easy. Don't make it where they come in and they have to do like 9 steps to get into your system. They'll do 2 things and then they'll leave. Okay, so if there's more than 2 clicks, you're going to lose them. You're going to lose their attention. Okay, As we make decisions at our libraries, we must not sacrifice the future for short-term gains. The data shows that libraries must prepare our students for college-level research, and our future plans are to go to the high schools and teach information literacy on Guam. Our librarians are actually planning to choose a school so that we can actually go there and do it. FD is one of the lucky ones because they have two MLS librarians, Ishmael Perez and Dante, so no one's going to go there. They have two librarians. And then I go to Notre Dame High School, where my wife is the principal, and one of us who ended up going to like academy, because the private schools would let us in real easy. And a lot of our classmates from the LEAD program are in the public schools. So it's not like there's no certified librarians in the public schools. But we are seeing that the students coming from all the schools, and I mean all the schools, are not prepared. Okay, and we're starting a scaffolding of information literacy program at the UOG. So first year students take EN 109 and FY 101. Those are first semester students. And then they can test out of 109 and go to 110 if their English entrance exam is good. So we're doing information literacy in this one and this one. Maybe just the first two components, access and retrieval, and then the rest of the components will be in 110, 111, and CT 101. So we're not teaching it the same thing over and over again. We're doing different parts of it, and so that by the end of their sophomore year, when they've completed EN 111, they've had all the information literacy components several times. So that when they actually do take the information literacy assessment, which may be the title, they'd be prepared for that. Okay? And these are my references. And of course, if you have any questions, you can email me, you can ask me, and if you want a copy of my study, I'll send that directly to you. I can send you the link and you can see it. And all you have to do is make a copy and it becomes yours. That's what's cool about Gmail. If someone sends you a link of something and you can't edit it, just make a copy. That one you can edit. You can edit your copy, so it becomes your file. All right? Thank you very much. Any questions? Sir? I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yes you can. So whoever does the first form can actually send that form to anybody and just make sure that they can't edit it. And when they get it, they make a copy, and your copy you can edit, and then you can send it to somebody else. So that you're only able to edit your copy, and not the. If someone wanted to allow you to edit the original, they can also do that. Yeah, but I don't allow anyone to edit the original, so that if they accidentally delete everything, I lost all my information, right? So I send them a copy that's not edited, that they can't edit, and then they make a copy. They make their own copy, and then they can edit their own copy. So they can actually review the results separately, independently, and then confirm whether or not they got the same numbers. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Talking about allowing food in the library.
Yes.
You mean you're only allowing on the first floor?
Yes. First floor. Only first floor.
In the conference rooms, right?
Conference rooms, yes.
So
Conference rooms and first floor.
There are conference rooms on the second floor, and you can eat in those conference rooms.
Yes. And so our plan is on the hour, the maintenance come and clear all the trash cans and any trash on the tables. On the 15-minute mark, the staff go and clear all the tables if there's any trash left behind. And on the 30 minutes, the librarians have agreed to do that. So we have 3 points every hour where there's someone that's going to walk around and make sure that there's no food upstairs, that they're not talking upstairs, and that all the food is in the correct receptacles, and that they're not leaving it behind. And the students do understand that it's a trial basis, and if it gets out of hand, we're gonna end it. But we had a Cal State Fullerton come and give a workshop at UOG, and The guy was a former director of the library. Now he's a vice president, and that's the first thing he said was, "We've opened it. We have the number one coffee shop in California in our library, and it makes more money than any other Starbucks in the county, and it's because we allow them to eat and drink in the library, in the first floor, and the students are there. Keep them there. The more access they have, the more they're in the library, the more they're going to use the services and the information. And our whole purpose is to provide access and train them in their writing. And so, by just proximity, we enable that.
Like for example, the workstations we had. The first time I came to the library, all the students could do on that is just word processing and internet, and it was restricted internet. So we opened that. We opened that access. We don't require anyone to log in, and they just freely use it because we went from like 1 or 2 people using it every day to most of it being used.
Yeah, so our computers are open to the public.
Yeah, so
not just students. Students don't need to log in anymore. Anyone can use the computers. If a student is in line for a computer and we know someone's not a student, we can ask the non-student to move because it's a priority students. We went from 18 to 21 computers, so they're all open access, and we have a Wi-Fi in the library. So if anyone went to the library, they can just connect to the Wi-Fi for free and access our databases.
It's not a problem anymore that the high schoolers come in and take over all the computers because a lot of people have their own laptops now. And as long as you give them Wi-Fi access, they can use their own.
Yeah, and we partnered with Docomo. So Docomo installed the Wi-Fi for free. So we pay nothing for the installation or the services.
We have 3 types of Wi-Fi in our library. One strictly for the students that's secure. They have to register their accounts. Another one is the Docomo's Wi-Fi for Docomo customers if they want to use that. It's a lot faster connection if you have a Docomo account. And then one is the free Wi-Fi for the public. Anybody can use it for public users. So we have 3 types.
And every 2 hours roughly, it kicks you out, so you have to log in again, so that it renews the IP, so that it doesn't keep. It doesn't run out of IPs or it doesn't slow down. It actually stays consistently, the speed stays consistent because it kicks out people after 2 hours. So if you haven't done anything, if you're not doing something active for like 20 minutes, it'll kick you out. If you've been on for 2 hours, it kicks you out. But all you have to do is log in again and it gets you back in right away.
That's usually a trend in a lot of places. Like the McDonald's has a free Wi-Fi, all the restaurants have free Wi-Fi, and so that should be the trend in the library. And we did a partnership with Docomo, so we can.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah. I was just wondering, what's on the first floor that you allow food but you don't allow on the second and third?
We have technicians and librarians in the first floor. There is only offices in the second floor and no technicians. So by keeping the food first floor, easier to see, clean, monitor, and there's more trash receptacles. And if we have it in the second floor, more chance for spillage, and because you have to walk up the stairs.
We don't see them.
Yeah, and they can hide. And so, but again, every half hour, the librarians walk around the second floor to see that make sure no one's eating on the tables.
And the silent room is it's kind of segregated. You have to go into double doors to get into it. So that's why we chose that area for the silent room.
And the first floor has couches, tables. We have stacks. Our main collection, A through M, is downstairs, but it's separated from where the students are. It's physically separated from the students. So, and of course, if we see students eating between the stacks, we'll move them. I have found students sleeping between the stacks, just because they're dead tired from studying or late nights, and like, hey, I can't allow you to sleep here. And they're like, but I'm tired. I said, yeah, but we can't allow students to sleep because number one, someone might fall over you, someone might trip and not see you, you may get hurt, they may get hurt, and if you die and no one knows, That's that opens up us for lawsuits, and that's the one thing that our public librarians. We have 2 librarians that came from public libraries, and in the states, and they both said that the reason why there's a no sleeping policy in libraries is because you don't want vagrants or non-students coming in, laying down and just passing away, and nobody. Yeah, and so that's why they don't allow any sleeping. So I wake up every student that I see. Hey, there's no sleeping in the library. This is not the place for it. Yeah, it's a place for learning. You're sleeping, go somewhere else. It's for sleeping. Some librarians allow them to sleep. I don't.
We actually last year or last semester, right? During finals week, we actually provided coffee and donuts. Yeah, and they really appreciated it.
Any other questions? Yes, sir. Yes, they can bring bottled water to anywhere in the library. Yeah, anywhere in the library they can bring bottled water. But it has to be closed. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
What happens if you find someone in 7th floor?
We send them downstairs. We just ask them to go downstairs. Yeah. Food's only allowed downstairs. Please go downstairs and eat. Otherwise, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. That's it.
And we also have signage, so you'll know where the collaborative zone is. We call it collaborative zone, which is the first floor. We have signs all over the place, and it has a list of all the things you expect from the collaborative zone.
Yeah, we have signs on the stairs and in the elevator. It says no food upstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
signage all over the place.
Oh, I didn't see it. That's your fault.
Did you have any accident of spillage or what?
No, we've had where the trash cans were over full, and that's why we had to implement the every hour the maintenance comes by, every 15 minutes, on the 15 the staff, and then on the 30 the librarians. So that way, if there is a full trash can, we can respond to it right away. Because the first 2 weeks we noticed that the flies were increasing. So by changing out the trash cans faster, that has stopped. Yeah. Paul, you had a question? Oh, okay. Yeah, I usually check what they're doing. Yeah, and when I hear snore, I'm like, hey, there's no sleeping. Oh, I wasn't sleeping. I said, bro, you were snoring. Or, girl, you're snoring. Oh my God. Yeah.
Do you ever encounter any smelly food in the library?
Yes, we had kimchi last week, and all the librarians freaked. I couldn't smell it because I like kimchi, so it doesn't bother me, right? But those that don't like kimchi, they're sensitive to it. So Ismail Paris walked in the front of the library, and this was in the bag. He goes, I smell kimchi. And then the other librarian goes, see, I'm not the only one. So she banned kimchi. I'm like, you can't make decisions based on emotion or based on one person, because then you become reactive to anything that happens in the library. You must be proactive. You can stop the kimchi from coming in without making a rule about kimchi, right? And so, we have the talking area downstairs, and we had 3 students complain, it's too loud, we can't study upstairs. I'm like, well, have you tried to go to the silent room? Because I guarantee you can't hear anything. You go in the silent room and all you hear is your ears ringing because it's so silent. And they're like, but it's not where we want to go. I said, listen, this is for everybody. I'm not going to stop the students from talking downstairs for 3 students. And then they realize, yeah, we're just being picky. We're just being silly about it. But yeah, you can never make decisions based on the reaction of 1 or 2 or 3 or even 300 people when you have 4,000. Okay, you can't make a law minority squash the rights and privileges of the majority. Never. And that's the one thing we learn in administration. And so we're very careful with changing rules or changing programs because it makes you look like you're reactive, and that's the worst thing you can be. It's because you're going to be reacting every single time something comes up. A student got locked in the library. Okay, all librarians must check every single chair in the library. Like, oh, brother. Yeah. No. No, we do our 3 announcements. We do our walk around 3 times. We have 3 times we walk around. 2 times the librarian techs do it. 1 time the librarian does it. We do our due diligence. We don't have to check every nook and cranny with a flashlight. No. So, again, it's not about being reactive. It's about being proactive. And tell that student, say, listen, we lock the doors at 7:55. If you're still in here, all you have to do is go out that door or call security and they'll let you out. And the security number is posted next to all the phones. So,
and we did experience a lot of changes with the amount of students that we have in the library now. We used to not be that busy at the reference desk. Now I get regulars coming to me, asking me for research questions. I help them out. Like I spent several times before I came here, I worked with a student for like an hour and a half before another student came in. And sometimes I had to call. Roland comes in and he has to take care of somebody else for me because I'm engaging.
We walk by the reference desk and sometimes we have to tag team. We have to go. Yeah. He'll be with somebody. I'm like, oh, I'll take the next one and I'll take him to a computer and I'll work with them. That way we get them the help as fast as possible. Right. And and that's usually 11 through 1. Yeah. It's like a flash mob. Yeah, it's really fast. A lot of students, and they're getting a bite to eat. They're eating real fast, getting the homework done, trying to get papers printed. Yeah. So our whole goal is to get them to be better at their research, and we're hoping that we're meeting that goal.
There's still some room for improvements.
There's always room for improvement. Yeah. We talk about it and we find ways to improve with our students in mind. So we're always continuing to do that. Every month, right? Except for the summer, I guess. Every month we get together. Anybody else? We all good? Sakao, baby. This whole year, we're planning to come. I'm like, man, I can't wait to drink Sakao. And it's Thursday, and I still haven't seen it. so I'm longing. I'm just teasing Ata. But I have a joke about Erica if you guys want to know. Come on, Erica, it's funny. Okay, so we were coming from Guam. And when you land in Chuk, the TSA comes in and says, make sure you grab your bags. Because if there's a bag that's left behind that's not yours, we're going to take it off the plane. And then there's a bag that's sitting by itself, and the TSA guy goes, whose bag is that? And Erica goes, that's not mine. It looks like mine, but it's not mine. That man took my bag. And the guy goes, which man? And he goes, that guy, he took my bag. And the TSA guy goes, can you at least check it to make sure it's not yours? And so he pulls it down, she opens it up, she goes, oh, it's mine. I think she saw her underwear and oh, it's mine. She almost got some guy arrested. The TSA guy was about to run and go find the guy. That was funny. That was really funny. I love Erica. Okay, thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.